Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. I have been trying to update you every month with what I have growing in my grow space and my greenhouse now, as far as seedlings and young starts and things that I'm getting ready to put out during the frost-free gardening season here in Saskatchewan, Canada. So as you can see, I have quite a bit started here, and I'll try and just go through things pretty quickly with you so you can get an idea of what I have growing and where my plants are at in their growth, and just to kind of see an update on any of the things that I've maybe shown you when I've planted them or that I've been working on in videos in the last month or two here. So let's quickly get started with what's up top here. All of these trays are exactly the same, so I'll just grab one out here. And you can see these are my impatiens. So I have potted them up into larger pots. I think I actually have a couple more trays of them somewhere, so lots and lots of impatiens. Do I need this many impatiens? No, but I have them, so I'll probably be finding good homes for a bunch of them when it gets warm enough to have people be able to just put them straight outside and make it easy for them. Over here, I have, I can get them out, my begonias. Now these are the tubers that I brought indoors in the fall. And then I showed in a video how I took cuttings off of these and what I was doing to get them started. So let me find the cuttings for you and you can have a look at those. Cuttings are way over here. So some of them are not looking like much and some of them are looking absolutely fantastic. So these are the Begonias, what is it called? Cream, Begonias cream. And they are doing just amazing. They're even trying to flower here a little bit. They're well rooted in. I actually should be going in here into these pots and separating them out because I have 2 plants in this one and 3 in this one. So I need to get those separated out and divided so that they can grow nice and be a nice even plant. These are double pink. Yeah, both of them are double pink. And they're rooted in. I can lift the tray up, probably shouldn't, but. And then I have these two. These are both rooted in. This one has put on a bit of growth. This one hasn't put on any growth. This one has not put on any growth, but they're rooted and they're doing well. And then I have the Double Delight Primrose, it's called. And this one has roots on it. And this one has actually put on some nice growth down at the bottom here. It's obviously rooted in as well, but I could probably trim this big leaf off now and just have a nice plant coming out of that little bit of growth right there. So I'm happy with what those are doing. So after the begonias, I have a big tray of lobelia. Now these were supposed to be almost all white lobelia, but as you can see, some of them have, hopefully you can see that, purpley blue flowers, because yes, they're flowering in my house. So the blue lobelia that I had sown did not grow very well, but it seems like there was maybe some blue lobelia in the seed, the what's it called, White Lady seed. This was purchased seed, I believe, all of it. And then there's just this one little 4-pack that's supposed to be the Crystal Palace. And then one more, what's that one? Crystal Palace. And then I have one little horrible looking bee's friend there. I have more bee's friend, trying to get it germinated out in my greenhouse. And we'll see, it's just not doing well inside, but it does do better direct sown outside. It just takes a while and I have a short season. After that, I have some of my tomatoes here. There's more tomatoes down at the bottom. I up-potted these, I believe, in a video, and some of them, the soil I put them in was quite cold. It was out of my garage on a cold day, and I should have brought it in sooner and warmed it up. I didn't, so some of them don't look good. I think it's the ones down on the bottom shelf here. These are some of my Romas. So I have another tray of Romas that look better, but like this guy's just done. Just take him right out. And this one is coming back, but it was looking pretty bad before. It was looking pretty bad about a week ago. So I'll just trim some of those dead leaves off. The other Romas were looking a little rough, but again, they've definitely come back. These are just the seed leaves that are a bit yellow. They can just come off. otherwise they're looking pretty good. Next to the aromas, I have this tray with some Angelonia in it, and I don't know how well it shows up here, but it's actually flowering a little bit in here already, so that wasn't the plan. Some stalks, these are just a couple that were left over. The rest of my stalks are all out in the greenhouse, but I thought it'd be an interesting comparison between those in the greenhouse to those that have been inside where it's warmer. And this is more Angelonia here. And then that's my Bacopa, and I managed to separate one tray out into two. So I have 18 Bacopa looking pretty good there. This is a tray with Coleus, and I believe this is Candy Tuft. Yeah, Candy Tuft beside the Coleus there. And then the Alyssum right here. This is some Nicotiana that I just thinned out today. This is Salpiglosis, and right here is, what is this? Turnips that I sowed just a couple days ago. Just trying to get a few started indoors, maybe get a bit bigger, healthier plants so when I put them out, hopefully the flea beetles don't chew them all down while they're still small. Just something I'm experimenting with. Then I have just a lot of trays that I've just sown recently with, like, these are both calendula, 2 different varieties. This is some herbs. I think I sowed those in a video. So there's some cumin, giant of Italy parsley, basil, and Italian dark green parsley. And then I have some Greek oregano, mint, spearmint, and lemon balm. All of these are coming up and doing well. Behind those, I have some scabiosa and some gomphrena. There's some more gomphrena. So the first one was orange. This is lilac. Not great germination, but there's 5, 6 cells coming up. One's a double, so I'll be able to separate it. This looks like it'll be a double. I'll be able to separate. Oh, there's another one there, so that's 7 cells. So, maybe not as bad as I thought. It's coming. And this was a fun aster I just found the seeds for the other day, and it's called King Size Apple Blossom. And I just planted them, so they're pretty far behind for asters, but I thought I'd give them a go. Pretty soon, probably tomorrow, if I get a few more to pop, I'll take this lid right off. I have it open right now. And I think I showed taking cuttings of these coleus, and they're doing really well. They're rooted in, growing nicely, looking great. The next shelf down is some things I just potted up. There's some Ptolotus joey on this end here. Looking great. And then this is Chrysanthemum Bright Eyes on this side here. Another tray I just finished potting up today is there's Aster Pavlova Blue. They're in the black pots there. And then over here is the Aster's Flamingo at Sunset at the other end. And there is one in that kind of orangish brown pot on the end there. It's just really tiny. But since I was potting up all the rest, I threw that one in as well. And this is my seed starting tray. This is where you can just do kind of a mass seed starting and then pull them out. So I'll be bumping these up into actual pots in the next couple of days, but I have cosmos, zinnias. There's supposed to be some nymphaea here, and it's not coming up with older seeds, so maybe it won't. What else do I have in here? These are some saved seed of zinnias. They're not coming up as well, but they are slowly coming, and then some marigolds down at this end. So it's coming. And a lot of these will need to get put up into their own pots soon. They can't stay in this tray. It's not very deep, not much room for roots. They need to move right away. The last tray on that shelf won't look like much, but I have some different brassicas. So I have like cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli. What's in this one? Yeah, it's broccoli. There's 2 trays of amaranth. I just sowed those like 5 minutes ago, so obviously nothing coming up there. And then some lettuce and spinach at the end there. I don't know how well it shows up, but there's a few coming up in those. And then the broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower also has a few coming up in them. So these were all sown just in the last few days. I don't think I have a video of any of those. I showed you the tomatoes down there. Then I have, these are the Dahlias that I started from tubers that I picked up. So you can easily see the sprouting on this here. A little bit of sprouting just happening here. See that there? So a little bit just starting on that one there. I have, I think, what was it, 4 more trays, 3 more trays like this. So 2 more trays of the dahlias. They look pretty similar. This is the canna that I started at the same time. So there's a little tiny one over here just starting to get sprouted, and then the larger one has 3 big sprouts coming up on it. And these are the begonias from the saved tubers that I had in storage over the winter. So what's that one called? That was double yellow. These are double red. And I had separated this one here into 2, one really small one. Hopefully you can see that there's little sprouts in the small one, obviously good sprouts on the larger one. And this one is sprouting as well. They're all doing very nicely. Now down at this end, these are way far behind, but I had a friend request some Sugar Rush peach peppers, and I was like, oh sure, no problem. And then realized I didn't have seed for them. So I quickly ordered some up. Here in Canada, shipping can take a while, but it was the only place I could find it to get it from the other end of the country. So they have come up and they're doing well, but they won't be near as far ahead as the ones I'm about to show you. So they're on, you probably see a heat mat here. It's turned off now that they've germinated. Then I have, these are my hot peppers. So I have jalapenos, Hungarian hot wax, Pathfinder. Right here, they're looking good. They could actually be bumped up into larger pots, I think. I have them planted. There's 2 plants in each of these cells. That's how I tend to grow them, but they need to move up into larger pots. I don't know if you can see, but this one is flowering here. But yeah, they're going through the water. Like, that's quite light. They could be watered again. They definitely are outgrowing that space. They're packed in there and they need some larger pots. And these are my bell peppers and like kind of sweeter peppers. So I have, what's this called? Sweet lipstick, candy cane, sweet sunrise, California Wonder. It always seems to take a while to get going, but it is going in there. And then I have North Star, which is new to me this year, and Early Prolific. I think that's all those are on that side too, yeah. So lots of peppers going, that's how I like it. And then we have dahlias I grew from seed. What are these called? Reggae Sunset or something? Sunny Reggae. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 in this tray. And there's another whole tray, looks almost like this. I've gone through with most of these and given them a little pinch. I don't know if you can see that little pinch spot there. See where the stem is broken off there. So I've just gone down to up, you know, a couple of sets of true leaves, given it a little pinch to help it, encourage it to branch out a little more and get into a fuller plant instead of just growing straight up. I did that with most of these. There's a few that were really well branched, so I didn't bother, but most of them have been pinched now. And like I said, I have 2 trays of the Sunny Reggae dahlias. I showed you the begonias. Here's more tomatoes. So yes, if you thought that was all the tomatoes, no, there's this tray and 1 more yet. They're looking pretty good, but again, a few are looking a little stressed, and I think that's because of the cold soil that they went into. But I'll have enough to have, you know, a plant or 2 of everything, so I'm not too concerned about it, and sometimes they'll bounce back. And there's the other tray. So it's looking better. That one tray definitely looked the roughest. Maybe it was the first one with the very cold soil. And then, as promised, I do have a few more impatiens. And I'm just a sucker because, I mean, some of these I just separated out other cells and kept, and I really don't need this many. There's another tray of these. So here's the other tray of these, but you might notice something here doesn't belong. And that's the delphinium. I only had one of, I think it was 9 or 12 delphiniums that I sowed that actually sprouted, grew, and remained healthy. So I'm not sure what that was about, but I'm just keeping that one right there. That's what I have going on here in my grow room. Let's pop out to the greenhouse real quick and I'll show you what's happening out there. Actually, before we get into the greenhouse, I have a little hoop set up here. This is a raised bed that I built. It's raised up off the ground a couple of feet, and then there's a soil reservoir. I'll try and give you a backed up view. And then I've just put this this tunnel on top, and inside I have planted, I think, 6 varieties of carrots and a couple of varieties of radish. I did that like 2 days ago. I'm sure there's nothing sprouted in here, but let's stick the camera in and have a look. So there we are. So you can kind of see how I have the vermiculite on everything there. That's just to try and hold moisture, and helps me to see where the rows are. So it looks like I could do a little watering in here, so I'll be doing that. And yeah, nothing's popping up yet though, but I wouldn't expect it. In front of the greenhouse here are the 2 pots that I potted up, what, a week ago maybe? So maybe even exactly a week ago. And they're looking pretty good. The ranunculus has definitely started to fill out. I think the snapdragons have as well. Pansies, not so much, but they're all still looking pretty decent considering we're still getting nights down around the freezing mark. And in fact, I'm going to have to probably put them in my greenhouse in a couple of nights because we are supposed to get very, very cold, -7, -8 Celsius. So they won't stand that. And I could cover them just with frost cloth, but I think it might just be easier to pop them inside. But they're looking pretty good. The Dusty Miller is doing fine in that cold weather. I think I've covered them 2 nights. Otherwise, they've been uncovered and doing well. Inside the greenhouse, it is a busy place. Lots growing. Hopefully I'm not moving the camera too fast. There's more down there. There. And up there. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly through a lot of it, because a lot of it is repeats. So everything up on those 2 top spots there, that's ranunculus, and you'll see a bunch more ranunculus in a minute. That's anemones right here. I haven't even looked at this today, but that's where my gladiolus and cocosmia bulbs are sitting. And then I have Dusty Miller, lettuce, spinach, snapdragons, cauliflower, lots over there, more snapdragons. There's my stalks, there's Giardia right in the very back there. So I don't know, the stalk is pretty similar to what was in the house, I'd say. What do you think? Put it in the comments down below. Do you think it's doing any better out in the cooler air or inside? Here's some more pansies. This whole tray is pansies. They're looking really nice. Down here is more ranunculus. This is some seeds that I sowed early on in the winter and I've just had sitting out here. There's prairie drop seed and I can't even remember, heart-leafed Alexander. So we'll see if they sprout and do anything after being sitting out here all winter. I thought that would be interesting. They're native plants. Here's anemones, looking great. This is a mix of anemones and ranunculus, and then 2 trays of ranunculus. Over here is my petunias, and there's more petunias down there. There's another tray of petunias, just smaller ones I haven't bumped up yet. And there's more actually on the next shelf, but let's look. Here is the winter thyme that I sowed also early in the winter, and I've just had sitting out here all winter, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but there's little sprouts in several of these trays here, and they should be filling in very soon. Again, that's the petunias. And then here I have dianthus, celery, nigella, strawflower, status, and amobium. So those are all looking great out here, all happy to be out. Someone else that's happy to be out, puppy in the grass. And then, like I said, more petunias out here. This is just an anemone that needed a little extra water the other day, and this tray was full, so I just set it here. It's not doing anything, but I haven't dug it up to see if it's put roots down inside. More petunias, and these are 2 straw flowers that just needed a home, so this is where they are. And more anemones. So you can see, like, these were all started at the same time, and some are up and just going for it, and some are just starting. So if you have anemones that haven't popped up yet, you know, or maybe look like this, let's see what's in here. Is it rotted or is it have roots on it? Can I find it? Yeah, this one's rotted away, so we can just be done with that one. But, you know, just have a check and see, because they could still be coming. And then here's my onions. So I can't even remember what varieties I had. Some from Save Seed. Of course, that's that tag. And then Ilsa Craig. And then I did find another little pack, and I decided to plant more. I didn't show this, but this is Valencia. Oh, and I guess I didn't show you, but those are the pots of potatoes I planted up in a video, but that was just I don't know, a week ago maybe, so they haven't poked out of the soil there yet, but they will. They just take time. I certainly have a lot growing in my grow room and my greenhouse. Like I showed you, a few things started outside, and it's coming along. We're about 4 weeks from my average last frost, and I'm really happy with how much I have. Some things I have way too much of, others just enough, I'm sure, but there's never a shortage of people who will take some plants from me if I need. I am a little bit concerned about the very cold weather that's coming up. My cherry trees have already started to want to start to push buds. A lot of my trees have, which is normally a good thing this time of year, but if we get -8 like they're calling for and another load of snow, which is what's in the forecast in the next couple of days, it could be a really bad thing for those. So I may try covering those with frost cloth, depending on what the winds are like those days. It's been pretty windy the last few days. But I'll just keep you posted on that, I guess, and we'll go from there. I have gone through and raked out and sorted up all of my garden beds and got the drip lines all set up in them, so they're ready to go when I'm ready to go. And as you saw, I have cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli and things that are started and ready, my onions, and they're just waiting for me to get them planted. I have those hoops I showed you in a video that I set up out in my raised beds, and I'll be putting some of those things under the hoops, but I'm just kind of waiting for the weather to settle down a little bit. It's like I said, we have that real cold snap coming up, and we've had some really windy days, so I just haven't wanted to be trying to fight around with the hoops and plant things out in the garden. But I got a lot of progress done, and we're getting close to that frost-free time. So down in the comments down below, do you have anywhere near this much going on, or am I just a little bit crazy? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. Thanks for stopping in and touring around with me today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Here's another anemone. It looks like nothing's happening in there, and I just tried to dig it out and I couldn't get it to lift up, so I picked up the pot and had a look at the bottom, and I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but there's roots coming out the bottom. So it's still coming. They're all planted at the same time. So this one looks like that. This one looks like that. Put in the soil at the same time. So some just take longer than others, I guess. Tulips popping up out here. And some onions from last year.